Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ty once again, and thank you so much for deciding to click on this video and spending a little bit of time with me. Normally we do these type of mindful mindset type of videos while I'm doing my makeup, but I started to feel the way that I was feeling once I started my makeup, like after I had already started my makeup. So I was just like, you know what, I just want to come on here, talk to you guys, and then if you guys want the makeup look, I'll do it separately with something else, like with a story time or something like that. But I just wanted to come on here and talk to you and just kind of talk about like feelings. You know, we like to do that on this channel. And just talk about my feelings and talk about like where I'm at. Anytime that I like come on this channel, I've said it before that I want to make sure that like if I'm gonna talk about something, that it's something that is authentic to me, that it's something that I am currently or in the past have dealt with. I find that more often than not, I will talk about something that I'm actually going through or dealing with in the exact moment, because the emotions are real, the thought process that I'm having is real, and the feelings that I'm going through in that like particular moment are very authentic and very real. I find that when I talk about something from like the past, unless it's like a story time or something like that, I don't really have the same feelings of like, I don't know. It doesn't pierce the same way. It doesn't like, I can't get my exact thoughts out and express the way that I want to when I'm talking about something that's like in the past. So I just wanted to come on here and just kind of talk about like some feelings and talk about some things that I've experienced or am experiencing in the moment, and kind of just express myself, you know, through my channel, and just kind of hop on here, you know, and just give it to you guys raw how it's coming out. So I just wanted to come on here and talk to you a little bit about self-doubt and something that is referred to as imposter syndrome. And basically, like, I'm not gonna give like the full definition, I'll probably pop it up on the screen, but basically imposter syndrome is basically feeling like you are in a place where you're obviously in that realm because something got you there. Normally it's a gift, normally it's something that you did, something that you acquired, and it put you in position to be in a place that is of a higher level of something that you probably never even imagined yourself being. But in that space that you're in, even though you've acquired it, you feel like you don't belong. And ultimately, because you feel like you don't belong, you feel like somebody is going to figure it out that you don't actually belong in this space. That the gift that you actually have and what put you in position wasn't actually legitimate or wasn't actually valid enough to be able to put you in position to where you are. And so you feel like you're an imposter, like you're fake, like you don't deserve to be here. You don't deserve the title that you have. You don't deserve the position that you're in. And you just constantly beat yourself up and doubt yourself and doubt the place that you are in that season, in that time, and whether or not you whether or not you fit into the space that you've been given. And that's been something that I've dealt with literally for almost like my entire, I don't know if it's my entire life, but for as long as I can remember, it's something that I've dealt with for a very long time. And just kind of feeling like I don't belong, like I'm not good enough, like comparing myself to other people and comparing the things that I do and comparing the like talents and the gifts and the aspirations that I have. And I've just always compared them to other people. And I've always looked at myself as not comparable or not valuable to the place that I'm at, or, you know, I'm just not, I don't belong in the group that I've been put in, or, you know, like it's just consistently just doubting who I am and what I am and what I've been given. And I just know that like there are so many people that deal with this exact thing where you constantly just doubt yourself. You constantly just beat yourself up about whether or not you even belong, and whether or not your gifts are actually valid enough to have you in this position and have you in this space that you're in. And like it doesn't make it any better that we're in a society now that basically requires you to compare yourself, or requires you to challenge yourself to be better any opportunity that you get. But it's not really, I feel like it's not really like putting you in position to be better, but it's more of putting you in a position where you are comparing yourself consistently on things like social media, on, you know, on platforms where, you know, people present the best parts of themselves, and they literally spend hours upon hours upon hours perfecting who they are, or how they present themselves, or people, how they want people to perceive them. And you sit there, you get on these platforms, on these social media platforms, and you compare the worst part of yourself to these people that have spent hours perfecting what it is that they're presenting to you. And I just, like, we try to tell ourselves so much not to compare, don't worry about what other people are doing. You know, you got your own gifts, you got your own talents, you got your whatever it is that you say to yourselves. But let's be honest, like, dealing with imposter syndrome and dealing with self-doubt is like the hardest thing to get over and the hardest thing to deal with. It's just so hard. It's so hard to not compare yourself to other people, especially in the world that we live in with social media and just always being, you know, compared. And for me, like, I work in an industry, especially right now, where you're constantly being compared to the next person. Your artistry, your gift, your talents are constantly being compared to the next person's gifts or talents or aspirations. And ultimately, you're in a pool full of people who do the same thing as you, and clients are now put in this pool. And you want to get chosen, you want to get picked as like an amazing artist, you want to get picked as somebody that is like comparable or the top of the top, or your artistry is bomb, you want people to rave about you. But then you compare yourself to other people who are in that position, who are currently getting the praise that you want, and you look at yourself and you're like, my work doesn't even compare to that. My talent doesn't even equate to what they have. Or, you know, you just don't see yourself as valuable enough to even stand next to this person, or to even present your work, you know, the way that you need to in order to gain an income. And so I just like had to sit back, and I just went to this scripture that always resonates in my mind. And the scripture is Proverbs 18:16. It says, a man's gift will make room for him and bringeth him before great men. Again, that's Proverbs 18:16. And that scripture has stuck with me for so long in the things that I've done in my life, and the just the accolades that I've gained, because I've gained a lot of accolades. But even in gaining those accolades, you go back and you're just like, no, I'm still not good enough. Like, no, no, because their work looks better on social media, you just feel like you're not good enough. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking about the things that I've done, like in my career, and the things that I've done in my artistry, and the places that I've gone. And yet, even in all of those things, like, I've worked with crazy names. Like, I have a listing of artists that I've worked with, like, and I'm not talking about Z-listers, I'm talking about like A-listers, B-listers that are just like top-notch people, you know, top-notch people. And like, even though I've worked with these names, or I've worked alongside these people, like, I still doubt that's crazy. That's literally crazy, because is really crazy. Just thinking about how many accolades that I have and like the places that I've been and the places that my gift has made space for me in. And even in me being in that space, I'm looking back and I'm like, I'm not good enough. Nah, I'm not worthy enough. My gift's not good enough. My artistry is not bomb enough. Like, yo, it's crazy what our mind does to us. It's crazy what our mind does to us and what the enemy tries to implant in our mind and what the enemy tries to like sell to us. And we believe it sometimes. We believe that like we're not good enough and we don't belong in the space that we're in. And just, I'm like, yo, like that's mind boggling to me, because I literally have sat here even just now, like, I'm like, yo, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm looking at this artist and the things that they're doing, and they're putting out bomb work and they're getting booked consistently. And they're just like, it's like client after client after client after client. And their books are just like slapping and slapping and slapping. They're consistently booked. And here I am. I've got weekends off, you know, or I've got a month off and I'm not booking a client or something like that. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not good enough because I don't have a wedding or 4 weddings back to back this week. Or, you know, I'm not good enough because this photographer doesn't want to work with me. Or, you know, like, I'm not good enough because I don't know, your mind tells you all of these dumb things that you believe and you stick with. But again, I try to remind myself with this Bible verse of Proverbs 18:16 that your gift will make room for you. And I try to remind myself that consistently. And I look at that Bible verse in 2 different ways. Like, I look at it as the gift that God has given you will make room for you. And the gift that God has given you will put you in a place that you yourself, without this gift or without the hand of God, cannot be in. And it will provide you spaces and opportunities that you could never imagine or never have even processed or never even have, you know, imagined yourself being in. And because of that gift, you are now in that space. You are now in that, you know, environment or amongst these people. But I now, like today, had a revelation. Like, I also feel like that verse can be looked at in a way of the gift that you have that was once given to you. Your gift, like the gift that you now give, will make room for you. And I had to stop and think about that. Like, wait a minute. So your gift will make room for you. The gift that God gave you will make room for you, right? So my gift is makeup artistry. My gift could be singing. My gift could be drawing. It could be like, I don't know, it could be doing hair. It could be like a race car driver. I don't know. But whatever it is that your gift is, that you feel like your gift is on this earth, that gift was given to you and it will make room for you. But I also had the revelation of the gift that you now have. If you present that gift to God and present it to his people in the way that he intended for you to present it to them, that very gift that you decided to give as an offering will now make room for you. So when I look at that and I look at times where I feel like I want to run away or I no longer want to do the things that God has given me, you know, a gift to do, or I feel like this isn't for me anymore, or I don't feel like I'm adequate enough. Like, when I look at those times and I sit back and just think about the moments where this doesn't feel good anymore, I think about whether or not I'm choosing to now no longer give the gift that God once gave to me. And if I stop giving that gift, then the gift that I once gave as an offering will no longer offer a space for me or an opportunity for me. And so as long as I continue to give the gift that God has given to me, as long as I continue to give it to him as an offering, that space and opportunity will be made for me. Woo! Like, I just, like, I just know other people are dealing with this. I know other people are dealing with it. And I know that other people literally sit there and just dog themselves out, me including myself. Like, I sit there and I dog myself out, like, yo, I'm not good enough. Like, yo, I don't belong, or no, this isn't it, or no, like, you continue to have these opportunities because the gift that God gave you provides that opportunity for you. But also, if you don't continue to give your gift that God once gave you, if you no longer continue to give that gift as a sacrifice or as an offering to him, that gift will no longer provide the opportunities that you need in order for you to see the fulfillment and the purpose of God, in the things of purpose that God has for you. And that brings me to another verse. But if I don't use my voice, if I don't use my gift, if I don't use my offering to God, and I don't use the very thing that he has given to me, then rocks will cry out in my place. And I feel like my offering to God and crying out to him and presenting him the best part of my artistry, the best part of my gift, then somebody else, a rock will cry out for me instead. And I will no longer have the position and the place that I was once destined to have. Like, I'm preaching to myself today, but I just really wanted to come on here and just remind myself and you that you were put in that place. You were put in that position, in that atmosphere, in that role, to do whatever it is that God has called you to do. You were placed there because you deserve to be there. You were placed there because you have a gift that made room for you and presented a position for you to be in that space. And don't ever allow the enemy to plant seeds in your mind like you don't belong, because he wants you to compare yourself to people who present the best parts of themselves online. Like, understand and know that you have a gift, and you have an artistry, or you have a talent, or you have a purpose on this earth that needs to be fulfilled, but it needs to be fulfilled the way that God intended for it to be fulfilled. And that is through a gift and through the talents and the offerings that he's given to you. And so continue to use that, continue to present that to him, as your sacrifice, as your offering unto him, because the minute you stop, the rocks will cry out in your space, in your place. The rocks will cry out in your place. Wow. Whew. Yo. Oh my gosh. I know today's video is like not as long as the other videos, but I just really wanted to talk from my heart. I'm not gonna really edit this too much. I'm just gonna talk about where I'm at and just kind of let it go. I'm gonna just let it go as is, but I just want to remind you guys, I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit and just remind you, like, don't walk away because you feel inadequate. Like, you're in that place, you're in that position because your gift put you there. And your gift and your talents and the position that God has given you is valid. It's really valid. And then don't let nobody tell you that it's not. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not. Like, I really feel like self-love is preached a lot, but in order to have self-love, you really got to get over self-fear and self-doubt. You really got to get over those things. And I think that focusing on how to heal yourself from self-doubt is really the way that you find yourself in self-love. Well, all right, y'all. I will talk to you all later. But I appreciate you taking a moment to just kind of talk with me and hear where I'm at, hear my thoughts. And I just really wanted to remind somebody, along with reminding myself, that it's gonna be all right, girl. It's gonna be all right. Anyway, love you guys.